address you. I first want to give thanks to the NAACP of Martinsville and Henry County for giving me this honor to be here to speak to you today. Mr. Naomi and Mr. Dwayne, thanks for asking. So, I get an opportunity to talk to you guys today about the power of the dream. I love the theme for today. I've been thinking about it for since they called me back in December. And I got to tell you, I was looking forward to today, not just for the opportunity to speak, but because I get to eat bad today. I got to eat a little bacon. I normally don't. So I'm looking forward to my feet being swollen tomorrow when I wake up. But I do love the theme because I've been fortunate throughout my life and my career, throughout my 38 years on this earth, to have accomplished several of my dreams. And so it gives me great pleasure to be here today to just talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I've been able to do to accomplish those dreams, and maybe give you some inspiration that you can take back into your lives. And when I think about my dreams and the things that I wanted to accomplish as a young man, I think about several people in my life that have been very influential in those dreams. And as I look out into this audience, and by the way, I'm so excited because there's so many people here today from my past that I've met that I haven't seen in forever. And it just gives me great joy to see some of those people because they've also been influential in helping me to accomplish some of my dreams and goals. But I do want to acknowledge several people. Miss Naomi did a great job of acknowledging the first person, my dad. Those of you that knew my dad, you knew he wasn't very tall. But one of the first things I can remember my dad saying to me is, son, don't ever let anybody tell you you're too small to do anything. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't accomplish what you want to accomplish. And that had a very profound impact on me. Because he said that when he was my age, and I'm talking about when I was a young man, I think I'm still pretty young, but he said when he was my age as a young man, he let people talk him out of some of his dreams. He wanted to be a football player. He said that he was the baddest man on the sand lot, blah, blah, blah. I said, Dad, I didn't see any film. Film don't lie. But he said he let people talk him out of his dreams. So he was determined to not allow me to let people talk me out of my dreams. The second person, and she's in the back, is Delvin, Joyce, my mom. Mom, stand up.
Yeah.
No. Say that I had a dad that told me I could accomplish anything, and a mother that gave me the discipline to actually do it. So, and when I say she gave me the discipline, I mean she gave me the discipline. You know what I mean? My mom believed that if you spared the rod, you spoiled the child. Now, from time to time, though, I gotta say, she would spare the rod, and by spare I mean save it for later and use it again. But I'm so thankful for all the lessons that my mom taught me. She taught me what it meant to work hard, to be dedicated and focused, and a lot of the things that she taught me as a young person. Her favorite saying on Saturday morning, we didn't get to sleep in, it was get up and get a move on. And I still say that to my kids now, which is why they a little grumpy this morning. But really, really thankful for all the things that my mom taught me. And then lastly, and certainly not least, I've been the benefactor of a great amount of favor from God over the years, and I know that everything that I've accomplished, there's nothing that I would have accomplished without the help of God. So very thankful that my mom raised me in the Baptist church, and I learned all those great lessons there. So I get to talk about the power of a dream, but I like the second part of the theme today, the what you gonna do now part. Because I think it's easy for us all to come up with a dream. We all may have had dreams, but I think the hard part is the execution of that dream. The hard part is when you get knocked down, right? Remembering that the sun is gonna shine again. That you need to get back up and make that dream happen. So before I go into the what you're gonna do now part, let's talk about what that dream should be about. So that dream has to have clarity of purpose. You have to have a very strong why. So I meet a lot of people in my current role as a managing director with my firm. I interview a lot of people, and I say, what do you want? Why do you want to be a financial advisor? Why do you want to be in this business? And a lot of times, the answer I get, I want to make a lot of money, right? Well, money is not a why. Money is a means to an end to help you accomplish what your why is. So, Dr. Martin Luther King had a very clear and strong clarity of purpose. He had a very strong why. So when things got hard and he got knocked down, guess what? He got back up. Frederick Douglass, very strong why. Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, all these people had very strong whys. So for the young people in the room, if you have a dream, I want you to really and truly sit down and figure out, what's the purpose? What's the why behind that dream? All right? And once you figure that out, if you haven't figured that out, the rest of everything else that I'm going to say today is irrelevant. Forget it. Scratch it off the list. It's moot. All right? So, we got the why. All right. So, the power of the dream, what are you going to do now? There's 3 things, and if you keep the score, if anybody's taking notes, I want you to write them down, the 3 things that I believe that you have to do in order to accomplish your dreams. And the first is you can't take no for an answer. All right? No one in this country or in this world that's ever accomplished anything is comfortable with the word no. If you're going to accomplish your dreams in life, you have to have a very adversarial relationship with the word no. All right? Now, that's kind of counterintuitive because, I read a UCLA study, or I read it somewhere, that a UCLA study said that the average 1-year-old hears the word no 400 times a day. 400 times a day. And it sounds like a lot, but when you think about it, when you say no to a 1-year-old, you typically say it, no, no, no. That's 3 times, right? So it's very easy. Listen, I've said no to my kids about 6,000 times, and that was this morning. And what happens is we hear the word no so much that we become conditioned to accept it, right? And at some point, as kids, we talk back, we ask why, and then as we mature into adults, we stop asking, and then we accept it, and we accept mediocrity, and we give up on our dreams. So I need you to have a very adversarial relationship with no. And by the way, my kids, cover your ears, because I'm going to say, cover your ears, Jim. Cover your ears. All right. Emery, Aubrey, cover your ears. All right. My kids ask me why all the time. And as much as I get frustrated, I like it. Because it lets me know that at some point when they walk out of that employer's office and they didn't get the job, they might show up the next day and say, you know what? Thanks for the opportunity, but could you please tell me why I didn't get the job? They're not going to accept no. They're not going to take no for an answer. So very adversarial relationship with no. Throughout the course of my career, throughout the course of my life, I've heard the word no several times. Jalen, you can undo your ears. Listening to me. So I've heard no several times throughout my life. I like to go back to high school. When I had the opportunity to be a 3-sport athlete at Fieldale Collinsville. So at Fieldale Collinsville, and my whole goal in high school, my whole goal growing up, all I wanted to do was get a scholarship to go play some sport after high school. And after what I thought was a pretty good high school career, guess how many colleges offered me any sort of scholarship to play sports? Zippo, like nobody. And what was the feedback that most of them gave me? It's too small. Yeah, good athlete, but he's a little small. Coach Bradley didn't help me out any. Too small. And, so that was the first time I heard no. And it could have been very easy for me to just give up on my dream of getting a college scholarship to play football. But I didn't accept no. So fortunately for me, my parents not only as they allowed me to play athletics, they emphasized academics. And they made sure that I took care of business in the classroom. So I was able to get into practically every college that I wanted to go to, and I chose James Madison University. Now, by the way, this is an aside. I don't think I've ever said this. The reason I chose JMU, you guys ready? Nobody knows this. Who is our shortest president in United States history?
James Madison.
James Madison. He was 5 feet.
Yeah, I knew that.
Way out. So I didn't accept no. I didn't take no for an answer. I applied to JMU as a student. I got in on academic merit. I went down to the coach's office and said, "Hey, I want to play football." And they gave me an opportunity. They said, "Be here on Monday morning. We'll give you some pads." They gave me a nasty number, 85. It was terrible, but they gave me the opportunity. And you know, when you get opportunity, you have to make the best of it.
That's right.
So when I tell you I worked hard, we had that old school turf, right? He's laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. The turf is harder than carpet. I was diving for balls. I had no skin on my body by the time practice was over. But I made sure that I made an impression and made the best out of that opportunity because I wasn't going to let it pass. But as a walk-on, remember, I didn't have any money. I didn't have a scholarship. They didn't pay anything for me to go to school. And after that first year, and I did so well, I impressed the coaches. After that first year, though, guess what came in the mail? A bill. It was a big bill, too. I had never seen a bill that big. And so apparently we have to pay for college. I don't think I quite got that. So I called my dad. I said, "Pops, I got this bill in the mail, and I don't think we're going to be able to afford to keep me at this school. I mean, I don't see any way we're going to be able to pay this." My dad hopped in his car, got on 81, came up to JMU, had a meeting with my coach, Coach Wood. I still don't know what the conversation was, but when he walked out, I had a scholarship. So, again, that was an example. My dad, I can tell you, he didn't take no for an answer. He went in there and said, "I believe in my son. He's going to be a great player for you one day. Give him a scholarship. I'm not taking no for an answer." And so imagine if that had turned out differently. You know, imagine if I didn't have an advocate like my father that would come up and do that. Imagine how much different my life would be. So if we fast forward, you know, after 4 years at JMU, 5 years at JMU, I redshirted. I broke in 2 NCAA records, 8 school records. I was an All-American, first player in NCAA history to accomplish a couple of things, blah, blah, blah. Suffice it to say, though, none of that would have ever happened if I had accepted that first no.
That's right.
And now we get to the big leagues, right? What's next? The real dream, right? The one that, you know, since a little kid watching Barry Sanders on TV, I want to play on Sunday. That's the big one. And guess what? I had some teams come in to James Madison, take a look at me, and guess what the feedback was? Good athlete, a little bit undersized for the NFL, right? To be a running back. And guess what? They said no. So I graduated. No NFL teams drafted me. No one signed me as a free agent right out of college. So here I go again with my academics. Listen up, kids. Make sure you take care of business in the classroom. I graduated with my degree in business marketing. And I said, you know what? I'll go use my degree. But I accepted no. I accepted no for that moment. So I went and started a career as a financial advisor with a firm in Washington, D.C. And something very serendipitous happened. My future father-in-law invited me out to a Baltimore Ravens practice. It was summer camp. He said, let's go out to the scrimmage. They practiced out at Frostburg State, which was up in the D.C., Maryland area. And we went out to the practice. And lo and behold, I'm sitting at this practice and I'm saying, I'm looking at these guys and I'm like, you know what? They're no better than me. I think I can play. it's funny when you look at NFL players on TV, they look like superhumans, right? But when you see them in person, because I saw my man right here sizing me up, he was like, this guy played in the league? When you see them in person, they look very human. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I think I can still play. And so my father, he's now my father-in-law, when we got back, he said, well, if you think you can still play, let's make it happen. So literally that day, after we went to that scrimmage, the power of a dream, right? We went down in their basement in Maryland, and we had my highlight tape, and we made 32 copies of it. And then we put together a rap sheet, like a resume with all my awards and accolades and stats from high school. And then we made these little business cards that said, Delvin, Joyce, your future running back. And we sent it out to all 32 teams in the NFL. Guess how many teams called back? One. The New York Giants. They called me, and out of the blue, I mean, I'm sitting at my cubicle at my office in Northern Virginia making phone calls, and I get a call, and it says, hi, this is Ernie Accorsi from the New York Giants, blah, blah, blah. I think it's one of my boys messing with me. And they told me they wanted to bring me up for a tryout. And so I show up, and there's 15 other players there for this workout. And of the 15 that were there, they signed 2 of us to audition for that role. And, you know, the cool thing for me about playing for the Giants is that, you know, I wasn't a star. I was never a star for the Giants. But I happened to look like one of the stars on the team.
Well, he looked like Delvin. I feel like it.
So I got to live the life of an NFL celebrity in New York. Because everybody thought I was Tiki Boss.
Everybody thought he was Delvin Joyce.
I mean,
That's what I
literally,
said.
I would leave games and the fans would come running to me and say, Tiki, Tiki, Tiki. And I didn't want to disappoint them. So I would sign you up. I show up at a restaurant, they would say, Mr. Barber, we got a seat for you right here. The best seat in the house. Okay, thank you. But it was awesome. It was an incredible experience, and you know, I got to start as the team's starting punt returner and kick returner. But that was the power of a dream, and I didn't accept no for an answer. And even though I initially accepted that no, I eventually turned it into a yes. So no one who accomplishes anything in life accepts no. One of my favorite things to do when I see someone on TV or see someone in a magazine or a billboard, I pull up their Wikipedia page because I want to see, you know, what did they do to get to where they are? Because all we see when we see Oprah Winfrey, all we see is billionaire Oprah. We don't see the lady that was born in the projects and raised in poverty and molested as a child and had to overcome all these things. We don't see that. You know, one of my favorite illustrations, and if I had a PowerPoint, which I thought about, you guys be sleeping. But one of my favorite images is of a ballerina. And on the one side, you can find it on the internet. You Google it, ballerina, hard work, whatever. But on one side, you can see her foot, and it's in her ballerina shoe. I don't even know what you call them. But it's in her slipper, and she's got her toe pointed up. And then in the other foot, she has no shoe on. And you can see how damaged and beat up her feet are from the hard work and dedication. But a lot of times, all we see is that nice shoe. We don't get to see the other side. We don't get to see what Barack Obama went through to get to the White House. The fact that he and Michelle had student loans when he became president, right? We don't see that. And so, again, those people don't take no for an answer. Oprah didn't take no for an answer. That was number one. All right, number two. And this one is a new concept for me. And it took me a while to really be able to conceptualize this and truly understand how it's impacted my life and how I operate. Number two is you have to watch out for this thing that I'll call the imposter. And I learned this from Sheryl Sandberg. Anybody ever heard that name? She's the COO of Facebook. Anybody on Facebook? Yeah? I'm not cool enough. But I'm on Snapchat now. what's Snapchat? So Sheryl Sandberg, she talked about how, as the only female executive at Facebook, she felt like, eventually they were going to figure out that she was an imposter, that she didn't belong in the room, right? And that was the confidence issue that she had. And I will tell you that as anyone who's ever come from tough circumstances, or for anyone who's ever been a minority in a room, that imposter feeling is real. Am I the only one?
No.
Has anybody ever had that? So I call that my imposter. And I'll tell you what my imposter used to say to me. And by the way, my career has taken me all over the world, all over the country. I've spoken in front of all types of groups of people, and I still have to fight off my imposter. And here's what my imposter says to me when I'm in those circles. You're just a small town boy that grew up in a trailer off a dirt road in Carver. Never admitted that publicly. But that's what my imposter tells me. So, what does that do? How does that affect your psyche? It starts to hurt your self-confidence. It makes you start doubting yourself. And when you doubt yourself, guess what? No becomes acceptable. And when no becomes acceptable, guess what? Give up on your dreams. So I'll tell you the way I got over my imposter feeling. And by the way, I just recently put a name to it. Now I know what it was. But how I got over it, I'll tell you that the last time I let it get me, the last time it got the best of me, I was in New York. It was the off season, and wealthy people in Manhattan, by the way, what they do is they join state clubs, right? It's not even just enough to have a golf club, right? We go each state, and we call that a club, and we just hang out and fraternize. That's what wealthy people in New York do, the 1%, right? And so I got invited. They wanted a Giants player to come speak at this club. It was like a Friars Club or some club for these wealthy, elite people in New York. And so first off, right away, my imposter kicks in. Man, I'm just a small town boy. Grew up off the dirt road in Carver. I mean, what am I gonna say to them? But then it got worse. The other guest, it was gonna be me and another very, very important person. Yogi Berra. From the New York Yankees. The Hall of Famer. So Delvin, Joyce from Carver Road and Yogi Berra. Right? And my imposter kicks in again. And then guess what? It got even worse. Because when the limo came to pick me up at my apartment in New Jersey, guess who was in the back of the limo with me? Yogi Berra. So now I'm sitting there next to Yogi Berra, which was a really cool experience for me. Heading into New York, and I love public speaking. Thanks to 4-H back in the days. Where I got my stuff. Love 4-H. But that day, I don't know what I said. I probably spoke for about 5 minutes. I didn't say anything with any significance because my imposter beat me up that day. I could not get out of my own way. I could not get over the fact that these influential people in Manhattan, and oh, by the way, there's Yogi Berra, could listen to anything that I had to say, that anything that I had to say was of any consequence. And I vowed that day, I remember driving back in the limo with Yogi, me and Yogi, hanging out, best buds. I remember hanging out with Yogi on the way back, and I vowed to never let that happen again. So the way I get over it, the way I beat back my imposter, is I just flipped it around. And I said, you know what? The reason I am here is because I'm a small town boy that grew up in a trailer off the dirt road in Carver. Right? That's the reason I am here. As I was sitting in first class last night on my plane to come up here, I said, you know what? The reason I'm here right now is for that reason. And so you have to use it to your advantage. It may feel like your greatest weakness, but I'm telling you, if you use it and use that power that's within you, it's your greatest strength. All right, so that was number 2.
Forget where you come from.
Lastly, and I'm going to close, I believe that a goal is a dream with a time frame and action steps. And so if anyone in here has a dream, young people, old people, never too late to dream, then I would say put a time frame on it. Make it a goal. Because far too often, we have these dreams, we have these, things that we want to accomplish in life, but we never actually put action behind it. It's like we're just waiting for the sky to open up and for it to just happen. And go read someone's Wikipedia page. Nothing just happens. You have to make it happen. And so there's 2 things that I would encourage you to do to help facilitate that goal, that dream, transforming into a goal. The first is you got to write it down. Hold yourself accountable. If you were to look into my phone right now, every year on New Year's Eve, I don't make resolutions. I make goals and priorities. So I make personal goals and priorities. I make business goals, personal and priority. I make health and fitness goals. Every year. And it's amazing because I write them down, or because I put them in my phone, they're always in front of me. It's amazing how much more I accomplish that way. So hold yourself accountable. I believe that a lot of times the reason we don't want to write our goals down is fear of failure. So we write it down, it's real, and we don't accomplish it, we feel pretty bad about it. I'm telling you it's the opposite. If you write it down, you're that much more likely to hold yourself accountable to accomplish it. The second thing is share it with somebody. All right? And if you have somebody that does not believe in you and does not want to be an advocate for you, then share it with somebody else. All right? Because if you share it with people, then now not only are you holding yourself accountable, but you have someone else helping to hold you accountable to reaching your goals. So I am really, really excited that I got the opportunity to share just a couple of things with you guys today about my journey and my life. What I said today is not the gospel. There's more than 2 ways to skin a cat. I just wanted to share with you some of the things that have helped me in my life, and I'm just really, really proud to be back in my hometown. There's Charles Warwick, by the way, from Cable 6. Wow. I'm just really, really proud to be back in my hometown, have the opportunity to speak, and I would ask that Miss Naomi and the good folks at the NAACP continue all the good work. We need you guys in the community, and I would be proud and elated to come back anytime. And if there's a young person in the room, I'll give you my cell number. If you don't have an advocate that's helping you to accomplish your goals, that's giving you an encouraging word, because I was very fortunate. I had a mother and a father, and they both always encouraged me. I had people like Coach Gravely and Coach Talley, Mr. Preston in the back, and Mr. Hill. I had people like that throughout my life that have always encouraged me. Miss Scales always encouraged me. But if you are someone that does not have that, my cell number, write it down, 704-293-5685. 704-293-5685. Call me, text me anytime. And for everyone else in the room, give an encouraging hand to someone else. Life is about the legacy you leave to other people. And again, I've been very fortunate. Let's pay it forward and make sure that the next generation has it better than us. Thank you guys very much.